Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. So let's talk a little bit about this issue of immigration, because I think in many ways it is a very smart wedge item that I think a lot of folk are on board with, particularly in your city, right? There's this notion. I was just watching Godfather of Harlem before I came in. And, so they in our communities, there are people that have advantages and there are people that don't have advantages. And the people that have been there look at people who come in as interlopers. And, so there may be a large swath of people or maybe a handful of people that are okay with folk being rounded up who speak Spanish in the city of Newark, maybe in certain cities in California and Arizona and Texas. You know what I'm saying? How do you contend with that as the mayor of the city?
Well, I don't think that's most of us. And the reality is we allow Republicans to control the conversation, to control the narrative. Like I said earlier, that's what they're doing. They're telling people who's going to be, who's not against child rapists and murderers and, traffickers. And that's how they're describing them. And that's what we've conceded that discussion to be about that, but that's not what this is about. It's not what's happening. They're taking people that just got married and trying to be citizens. They're snatching people up with student visas and green cards. They're running in people's homes and grabbing people who are going through the process to be a citizen, and that process takes 8 or 9 years, which means they have to look over their back every opportunity because they can be snatched up by an ICE official. They're taking people who disagree with them, who are writing, who are journalists who are saying things that, they don't think are right against the Trump administration or Trump policies. And that's
students who are protesting on campuses.
Or students who are protesting. He signed an executive order to get rid of birthright citizenship. I mean, this is exactly what their plan is. When you ask them about that, they go back to murderers and rapists and gang members. We start talking about Delaney Hall. They get on TV and say, oh, they want to protect murderers and gang members and rapists. You don't even know who's in there. You don't know why they're in there, but you run with this narrative, and we allow them to say that over and over again without challenging it. It's not true.
But again, I mean, I know it, and I think any intelligent person knows it, but there's still a swath of us who are okay with that, even if the narrative is off, because it means that these people who came in, these people who came here, I got here legally. They should have come here the way I did, so they get what they deserve. That's the underlying.
Right, but here's the problem with that. If you're not a Cherokee or an Arawak or Blackfeet, somebody in your family came here undocumented. They wasn't seeking citizenship in their country. They came to this country to seek citizenship. So the first people in your family that got here was undocumented. Which means that you and your bloodline are naturalized citizens.
Without papers.
Became citizens because they're born in naturalization. Black people are the first undocumented people in this country. That's why the 14th Amendment exists, because after slavery, we needed a law amend the Constitution to allow us to be treated as citizens, so we could have due process like everybody else. Because prior constitutional or prior court cases, Supreme Court cases, said we had no rights that they had to respect, and so we needed the 14th Amendment that people are relying on today. So we're the first undocumented folks.
And your arrest tells me that I think they're challenging. They want to challenge that, sir. This is what I'm saying. I've been having these discussions with people. It's like, well, I have rights. This is not legal. I'm like, it's legal if you can't enforce it. It's legal. It doesn't matter whether it's legal if you can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it. They arrested you. People with masks on, you don't even know who they are. You can't identify them. We don't know whether they're legitimate ICE agents or not. Locked you up in a facility that you can't do anything about. I mean, you're going to go to court. It's going to take a minute, but I'm saying we're in some times right now where we can bang on Constitution, but these folk are doing whatever they want.
Absolutely doing whatever they want. 100%.
So what's the plan? So what's the plan, Mayor Baraka? Because we need to know what we need to do. What we going to do?
I think people need to, obviously, you have to stay focused on what's going on. I know we're learning how to do new line dances now, but we have to figure out what's going on in this country. We have to keep our eyes and ears open. We have to be a part of local organizations. We have to participate in local politics. We can't listen to everything that we hear without verifying it, right? Everything these people say, everything you read on the social media, everything you hear is not necessarily valid. You have to rely on your own research, your own information, double check stuff when people put things out because it's just not true, right? And so we need to figure out what that is. And we need to push back. We need to force our elected officials to push back to do what they're supposed to do, what you elected them to do, and that's protect you and your interests.
So there was a congressperson who ironically has a name Robert Menendez.
Yeah.
I was like, who is Rob from Jersey? You got to change your name because that name is mud right now. But he was there intervening. One of his colleagues, they put hands on her. He was wildly upset. I'm going to play a little clip from Representative Rob Menendez from New Jersey's 8th District. Play it, Smiz.
I can't begin to describe what happened here today. It started as part of our core functions as members of Congress to conduct oversight of ICE and privately run detention centers, where we waited patiently for over an hour and a half. Just waited. Waited to do what we've done together at Elizabeth Detention Center. We waited. And then we only saw action taking place outside where we were waiting, not knowing what was happening. We walked out to see what was going on. We saw Mayor Baraka out here by himself, mayor of the largest city in New Jersey, waiting for us to come back. ICE brought to meet the mayor of Newark over 20 armed individuals. 20 armed individuals to confront the mayor of Newark, along with 3 members of Congress.
I would have been, I can't even express the amount of force for an unarmed elected official. Why do you think you got this treatment?
Well, it's just intimidation. And people don't like the fact that I'm speaking out against these things and saying what I'm saying, and I'm challenging Geo Group. ICE has nothing to do with our contention with Geo. They're not in it. They shouldn't be in it. It's none of their business. They have a contract with a building that has not followed local policy. We didn't take ICE to court. We took Geo to court, and they really don't have anything to do with that process. They don't like the fact that we're doing this. They think it's going to create problems for them. But we're doing it because that's what's supposed to happen ultimately. And they're trying to show force. So they're going to arrest anybody. So they send the head guy down to this area to
and surrounded you. Did you feel, get that baby some Robitussin. Did you feel, were you scared for your life?
Of course. I mean, you when they put the cuffs on you, you natural expression of fear. I was just praying that that God didn't let my fear turn me into a coward. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I mean, you got these guys, you don't know what they're going to do, where they're going to take you. You don't know what they're going to do when you get there. You hear stories of what's going on around the country. I don't know if they're going to take me outside of the city of Newark or somewhere else, or they put me in an ICE detention facility, the county jail. I don't know where I'm going, at that time. So all kind of thoughts are running through your head as you're experiencing these things. And what are you supposed to, I had an appointment, 2 appointments after that. I'm thinking about those appointments, and people, I'm thinking about everything. So, and then why is the head of the agency coming to arrest me? These people could easily give an order. There were like 15, 20 cops out there, ICE agents. They could have easily told one of those guys to arrest me out there. We were out there for an hour and a half. Nobody said a word to me. They could have easily said, arrest them. They did not, right? They waited for the head guy to come out there to challenge me on purpose, right? The head. He gets on the phone, but who's he talking to? After I leave the gate, he's on the phone talking to somebody. Then they decide to come back out. So maybe he's talking to somebody that's higher up, that's giving them the green light to go ahead and target me. And so they did, because they want to show force. They're not playing. They want to show.
Right. How long were you detained? And when did you get out?
4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours of your time, your day. And this is, again, you are a busy man. I know.
In a cell, by the way. I was detained in a cell. Yeah. In a cell. You couldn't. Did you make your phone call? No, they allowed the guys allowed my detail to be in there, so they called people that I needed to call for me.
Okay, all right. So you get out 5 hours later. What do you do?
Well, I speak to the crowd. The irony is the place outside, it was like hundreds of people outside. And the folks in there concerned with, are they going to rush the place? Da-da-da. I said, look, nobody's going to rush this place. Let me out, and I'll tell these people to go home. And that's what I did. I spoke to the crowd and dispersed them, right?
What if that's what they wanted, Mayor Baraka? What if this is what they want?
Yeah, I don't think they want this, though. I think what they didn't think it was going to be the response that it's gotten. I mean, ultimately, where we were, where I was arrested at, wasn't really the focus, right? So I wanted people to get out from there. We have to organize ourselves and not do this spontaneously. Like, we have to figure out how we respond. I got a court case coming up, right? And people should come to the court case. I'll be there May 15th. There's places for us to be to make sure, justice is done properly.
May 15th, where?
Probably at the federal courthouse in Newark.
Okay, so that is this week on Thursday. What time?
See, I don't know that yet. I have to get the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So text me. Let me know. Let me take this one call. Mayor Ras Baraka is here, mayor of the city of Newark. Tonight, you're going to be debating where? Tonight, where can we see you?
It's a PBS debate. It's televised debate.
While we still have PBS, by the way.
Right. Yeah, while we still have PBS, because he's trying to shut that down too.
Okay. So tonight you're going to be debating who's on the debate stage with
The Democratic debate. So
all of them?
Yep.
Cheryl, full of
everybody.
Okay. All right, this is gonna be good. All right, I'm gonna tune in. Let me take Glenn. Glenn in Atlanta has a question. I think we might have answered it, Glenn. So if we answered it, you don't have to ask it.
No, I still have a question.
Okay.
My question about the facility is: does the contract between GEO and the federal government have a provision that says that property, that private property, is federal property? Otherwise, does the federal government have jurisdiction over that property?
There's no contract of that nature. You have to have a lease, right? If it's a long-term lease, then you have some jurisdiction over the property. A contract just enables them to use the property or to house people in there at the because they're allowing them to. So, and that's it. We are going over this in court. We're debating the whole issue. It's a contract, not a lease. The federal government does not have authority over that property. What they're saying is that it's federal property. It's not federal property. It's state property. I mean, it's private property. So that in and of itself, that argument that they're using is incorrect.
Glenn, thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm not satisfied with this cause of action. To me, Mayor Baraka, we had a few years to get ready. Project 2025 was out there. All of this, by the way, is in there. I'm really sorely disappointed that there isn't, like we're on our heels reacting and that there's not a strong offensive. Yes, the courts are coming, but the courts are slow because justice is slow. The arc of justice winds slowly, or it bends slowly, but it's sure, right? It's going to go through. But right now, I just feel like they are doing chaotic things to keep us again on our heels so that we're off balance and the chaos is reigning. And is there somebody who has like clarity about what needs to happen next in your realm?
Yeah, the problem is that everybody is doing one-offs and individual things, and there's no collective action. And that's what's missing in this moment.
Yes.
Collective action is missing in this moment. You got elected officials, state officials, national officials, senators, Congress people who are doing things on their own. And we're applauding the things that they're doing because it's good, but we need collective action, right? We need states to work with one another. We need governors to work with each other. Attorney generals to sue together collectively. We need activists to come together and have direct action collectively. We can't have one-offs, and that's what's been happening. And some folks have to get together, put our egos aside, be a little humble, and figure out how to do this together, where one person is not getting the credit, but we get the credit collectively.
How about that? The way it used to be. I'm sitting here, your music to my ears. I know that this is in your DNA. So I know that you are about this life. And I have been watching you for quite some time, both when you were a school principal and now. And at each stage, you've always centered the children or the people. So May 15th and tonight on PBS. Check out the debate if you're a Jersey. Even if you're not a Jersey citizen, you can still support. This race is important. I don't want to see Jersey turn into a red state again when we had Chris Christie. That was different. You know, Tom Kaine, but these aren't those times. If it's a Republican this time, it's going to be a MAGA Republican. And I don't know if I want to live in a state that is run by a MAGA Republican. So we're going to show up for our folk. I thank you for always answering the call. And stay safe. Stay safe, Mayor Baraka.
Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.